thank you.
I think Wayne just queued up.
You're
Not sure who's keying up. I'm just wondering if I'll get through before something breaks here tonight.
Oh, my phone just notified me that the Old Tube Radio Network's on live.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we're hoping it's live anyway.
A little more audio.
Yeah, I just noticed there's an issue all of a sudden. Yeah. All right, so where is it? Who is it? Is it that one? Like I said, it was working moments ago, huh?
Yep, definitely live on the YouTube.
Now that's weird.
Oh, what's weird?
I'm just trying to figure out which audio I'm going to need to use here. Because it looks like my regular one's not working all of a sudden. Does that one sound low and scratchy?
Yes.
One, two. Low test.
It's the calculator.
All right, that is possibility number 2. Is that with a strange noise in it? How about that?
Definitely better.
Let me test a few things here. All right, well, if I use that feed, that means there are no jingle singers. There's no Studio B on that one. Or maybe not. Wait a minute.
You can do it.
What if I do it this way?
TR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
The station for you is
OTR.
Now there's some audio.
There you go.
Now it's slightly hot on the AM transmitter side, but on the internet it's perfect.
Okay, that's because it's 2 separate streams. All right, I'll have to take a look at the meters when I'm transmitting on that and try and work it. All right, I'll work with Plan B here. It may sound a little weird, but at least it's getting audio through everything.
Go or no go for liftoff.
Okay, speaking of liftoff, I think if I can get X4000, Stan, and the orchestra, we will give this a try. You're listening to the Old Tube Radio Network.
You may not find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
Okay, well, that's probably a little wacky on the audio, but we will give it a shot here. The main thing is, I can see my SWR is not working either. The main thing is that we might be on the air somewhere sometime, so I will go as fast as I can before things break. You are listening to the Old Tube Radio Network. Hello to all those who are listening in at 27085, which is where we do this and have been doing this for the last 35 years on Channel 11, a gathering of the masses that are interested in the sound and the propagation, if you will, of the classic tube radios from 1958 to 1978. Operators will be standing by and not standing by tonight when they transmit on their radios. We'll be talking with them. Oh, okay. We got some audio. Let's turn that off. All right. And let's see, where was I? Oh, the SWL is listening in from 27085 in the Central Valley, possibly at oldtuberadio.net on your Universal Media Net web, and perhaps on the streaming video, which I think is happening somewhere at a theater near you. My name is Dennis, your net controller, for as long as whatever we're doing stays on the air without smoke. But if it goes up in flames, you can all continue on 27085 checking in radios. We will start with the direct and net roll call and do that right now. Radios will be coming up after the roll call. So we start with SWL 00.
Well, good evening, OTR, and all the other SWL listeners. Greetings from Northwest Fresno. I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. Some folks and I were just chatting about this before the show started, I unfortunately had to have Thanksgiving tonight, a couple days later. My wife is an essential worker and had to work on Thanksgiving, but life is good. We haven't started eating the pie yet, and I'm just trying to get some of that semi-disturbing haiku out of my mind before that was recited before the show this evening, before I stuff myself with more food. But anyways, good evening and 73 to all.
All right, glad you got a chance to participate in the holiday festivities. Whether it was a bit late or not, it sounds like you are in the mode. That is a good thing. I do not have the OTR haiku book ready for some 575 action. Maybe we'll have some 575 action on the air with the S meter tonight. And you are sounding good. Thanks for getting us started off. Mike will also check you in at the regular spot. If not, you are there because you are sounding good. Let's see, what else? I want to say hello to all those who are swinging on over from the Old Tube CB Radio Network Facebook page. If all is working, you may be able to make comments at oldtuberadio.net and on the video. And if you have a really, really good radio and the propagation happens, maybe we will hear you on 27085. Also checking in number one of the dudes that got this thing started off long ago, and also SWL number 2, who is up on the video side, if I can find the right screen here, and mentions the sunspot number at 67. You know what? That and the solar flux index has been poking around 100, and so with the 2 or 3 sunspots that are out there, and the SFI up at 100 there, as everyone knows, there has been some great conditions in the morning and early afternoon on the radio, so I hope you are able to participate in that. Turn off my monitor circuit, which I don't need. Over to SWL3. And we'll proxy in 3. SWL4. SWL5, I saw Ida, Mama Rose, not too long ago, and she says, say hello to all the Old Tube radio operators and SWLs, and we just did. SWL number 6. SWL7.
Number 7?
Oop, number 7 here, sorry. I had to get to the radio real quick and missed the darn key on the push pad there.
Okay, no problem. Maybe you had a phone call or something, but I know you are out there. Then we go to, let's see, all the way up to SWL10, and Chrissy is listening and checking in. They are up in Idaho and have actually checked in live on the air tonight. Chrissy says, hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving. And going to the important things, favorite time of year, indeed. Hopefully some tram radios, Rob on 123Bs, and we'll be checking in. You know, Chrissy does like the green radios. I will say on my screen, when I check you in, the color goes from red to green. So you are a green number 10. Thanks for listening in. It doesn't show that on the page where it says, checking in SWL10, but it shows it on my stream. Over to SWL13. And I will keep an eye out. Looks like the comments are working, and there is SWL13. Mr. Cobra is saying hello radio on the oldtuberadio.net page. Thank you, Mike. SWL 14. SWL 15. Also, you can check in on the Facebook page, the Old Tube CB Radio Network. I'll see it there at some point, or in some type of Facebook item. So wherever you check in, I will probably see you at some point. SWL 16. And that is Noka, Minnesota. Charlie is in there. He was helping me, and he can attest that before we started, before I keyed everything up tonight, everything was working perfectly. But as things go, or don't go in this possibility, we are on the secondary audio circuit tonight. So I am always glad when they run the B cables so that I can get on the air here. So thanks, Charlie, for your help in that matter. Let's go over to SWL 17. SWL 18. And I moved, I moved my, let me switch over to this camera. I moved my audio over to the secondary, and I'm looking at the, if you're watching the video, that is the Orban loudness meter that tracks all the audio going into the sound card. And in theory, if you are where you should be, it's probably between, on the little window on the right side, -20 to about -14 in the loudness area. It looks like I have put my signal where it needs to be on that, so good deal. Let's try SWL 18. And I'm going to give Mikey a check-in from the Facebook page. Over to SWL 19, and let me check something here. I think perhaps that incognito 14047 is now incognito as 04915. I'm gonna guess that is the case. I could be certainly wrong about that, but there's just something about it that looks right. So hello to Belfast, Maine, Derby, New York, and all the gang out there. Let's go over to SWL 20. And I have a possible proxy for SWL 20. I also have the 2-meter radio in on one of the circuits here. I can't remember which one it is, so I might be able to hear some crossband. Yeah, it's that one. Let me set the squelch here.
Crossband check. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Hey, there it is, and it's sounding. Oh, you know what? I may not be able to actually run it tonight because I'm on audio B. So how am I going to do that? I'm going to have to press that button.
Push the other button.
And I'm gonna have to,
okay, I can hear myself now.
And I'm going to have to press that button. All right, so there you go. So leave that up. Too many buttons. It is so much simpler if you have an old tube radio that has a microphone and one crystal and an on-off control. Heading over to SWL 21. Mr. JT from the South Carolina Wasama Swamps. DD21, I know you do not ever have this much problem when you are trying to do your thing that you do, which is called Old Radio Night. Now, I might be able to do that too. Let's see. If I bring this up, and I press that button, and I turn that knob, let's see if we can tune in to Old Radio Night, what was going on tonight with the Browning Mark IV. Hey, it's you're checking. I'm going to get you checked in for the Mark IV tonight. Here we go. That's the audio, the Mark IV Golden Eagle from Old Radio Night.
And 10 years of tugboating. Oh, yeah, I haven't done any tugboating.
That's kind of working. I've never done any tugboating. I grew up at the beach. I saw a lot of tugboats. So, JT.
Watergate. Hello there, Newfoundland, Ingalls family. All right.
All right. Well, that is the voice himself of SWL 21 on Channel 12 with the Mark IV Browning Golden Eagle tonight. So check that out. It is up and ready to run on YouTube video under Dirty Diaper 21. Thank you, 21. Got you checked in. Let's go over to SWL 22. SWL 23. That should be Mitch. Let me check the video side and see who is out there. I don't think 23 is out there just yet. So we'll take a rain check on that. How about SWL 24?
SWL 24, check in.
SWL 24. Sounding good, Joseph. Audio is good. The signal is good, and I hope all is going well. We got you checked in. And then SWL 25.
Hello, Dennis. 25 checking in.
25 checking in. Okay, sounding good. I don't remember if I missed. I think I missed the Wednesday night net this week. Things get busy, as you know. Anyway, hope all is well over there.
Not a problem, Dennis. I know this is a busy time of year. So anyway, sounding good out here at Madera Flats. Anyway, back to you.
All right, it's good. It's nice to be sounding good somewhere. Thanks for checking in. Over to page 2, looking for SWL 27.
27's checking in via the FM crossband on Audio A.
Hey, it sounds good. Let me try this. I hear you on crossband A. I think you're beaconing worldwide and on all sorts of frequencies, and I hope I've got the right microphoniums. KB6GFD.
You got them right. KI6QEL.
All right, well, there you go. There's an official crossband, so at least that part is sort of working. So Dwayne is checked in. Then we go to SWL 28, and I cannot read my hand. Oh, it's Gary, of course. Up there in Sacramento. What is going on in Sacramento? Probably cold, like it is here in Fresno. 23 checking in from West Sacramento. The green room is locked. They don't want to suffer my wrath and trying to find out what the heck they did to all my perfect on the air wiring here. So we'll see. I think we're going to open it up tonight. We'll see what Bob and Steve have in store for us tonight. So wait outside the door. It should open up soon. Yeah, it says they must have something really good. I hope so, and I hope I can partake of whatever it is. Enjoying his favorite beverage. Thanks for checking in. They're Gary in Sacramento. We get some backscatter or some very short E-skip. You just might hear us wafting down 99 and into the Gold Rush area there. And over to SWL 29. Got a proxy check-in for Mr. Loner. Over to SWL 30. And Dwayne, got you checked in as well. Mr. RFI, hope all is going well. Over to SWL 31. That'll be Robert and Teresa up there in Hendersonville. I know we have a couple of stations that check in from Hendersonville, so I'll keep an eye out to see what's going on there. Over to SWL 32. SWL 33, myself, Bozo Control, the Jingle Singers. Where is Bozo? I thought I heard Bozo Control. He finally managed to sneak in on the audio here tonight. Let's go over to SWL 34. And that is Railroader. Jimmy is probably in. I don't know how he does it. I always think I'm too busy, but Jimmy must run about 15,000 Facebook fights. Well, maybe not that many, but he is doing a great job getting the Old Tube CB radio network up and running. We definitely appreciate that. So if you are swinging over from there, hello to you. And if I get a chance and nothing's broken, we might feature. There's a lot of cool pictures of your radio stations. Maybe I'll be able to patch those into the videos when we start doing the radio check-ins tonight. So it should be a good thing. I see a lot of you checking in. Hey, Jimmy is in there. All right, hi, Jim. We got you in there. from Batavia. I'm probably putting the accent on the wrong syllable for that one. Let's go over to SWL 35. That is Mr. Bill checking in from Cowboy Country. If you're listening, Bill, I see your check-in over on the big page. Thanks for listening from very chilly Cheyenne tonight. SWL 36. SWL 37.
37 here, Dennis, and good evening.
And good evening, Chris. We got you checked in here on the Old Tube Radio Network.
Thank you much.
SWL 38. SWL 39. SWL 40.
WL 40. Currently heating up some water for some green tea.
Well, I have water, but it's not warm enough to make any green tea. I think I have some somewhere. Maybe we'll do that after the program tonight. All right, got you checked in, and it is a good evening for tea. And, you know, the key that keys up, it seems to be sliding farther and farther behind me here. It needs to be about 3 feet to my left to make this work better. But I think the cord is the cable I made. I had to wire in a push to talk, and I think it's too short. If I pull it, all the wires will come off. So I don't want to do that. Decked out in the Old Tube Radio suit tonight, and I think I have, I don't know where I put it. There was a pen. Oh, here it is. The sponsor pen is ready to go into the pocket protector. We'll do that when the tube radios start glowing in the dark. Let's go to SWL 41. And that is 507 out of New York, Road Dog Audio. There's a lot of comments. If I missed you, I will scroll up and down the page and hopefully find you at the appropriate time when that happens. Don't see Road Dog yet, but he will be in there, no doubt. SWL 42.
Yeah, let's proxy in 42 in the gang.
All right, we'll get 42 in the gang. Mr. KW might be listening in. Hello, Jerry. Over to SWL 43. We'll get a proxy check-in for Crazy Eddie. Always sounding good on sideband. I wonder if he's out there on AM. SWL 44. I don't think I see him on the digital side, so maybe he's doing the late Thanksgiving thing. Let's try up in North Fork, SWL 45.
Fork 75 checking in. Looks like your noise level is sure low tonight. Sounds good.
Okay, well, something is low. I'm on kind of audio number B here, so I'm always not sure if it's going to be working or not. But if you can hear me, that's always a good test that I'm doing something right. And you are sounding good as well, over.
Okay, well, I can decipher it, but it's sure different. Anyway, okay, talk to you later. Thanks.
All right, thanks. If you're wandering by the radio room, I think Paul's always in the radio room. He's got so many radios that every room is the radio room. We'll probably be hearing from him a little later tonight. SWL 46. SWL 47 checked in as 00. It's probably at the pumpkin pie by now.
You know what? No, not quite pumpkin pie. We did this is the one non-traditional thing we did. We got a store-bought pie, a chocolate cream pie from Marie Callender's. So we're getting that queued up. We got Charlie Brown Thanksgiving special queued up. I'm going to watch that in a minute. It's unbelievable. I think I'm actually older. This is the one seasonal show, Thanksgiving or Christmas time. This is the one seasonal show that I'm actually older than. So this is going to be kind of fun watching that. But we're going to do two at once. We're going to do OTR and the Charles Schulz Thanksgiving special. Life doesn't get better than this.
All the good things start coming on. I always love to know what our competition is tonight. So that's a good one. If people have to tune away to go see that, that is okay. That is okay. You know, I don't mind losing the audience to something like that. If they're gonna watch Cops or Judge Judy, then it's like, forget it. You know, we got to be better than that. All right, to continue on, and thanks for checking in and checking in.
Oh yeah, and just for the record book, there is no competition. OTR definitely wins. That's why I said we're doing both at the same time. Yeah, I think I'd definitely be worried if, people were jetting just to go watch Brady Bunch or Gilligan's Island or something like that. But no, your reputation is intact, sir.
At least there. I managed to, in the 2 hours we do this, mess up my reputation anyway. All right, thanks. Continuing on with the roll call, SWL 48. SWL 49. SWL 50.
Live and kicking. 50 checking in, and would you also proxy 650?
All right, 50 and a 650. The 650 and the 50. All right, Mark, we've got you checked in. Were you on the sideband net last night?
No, I tried to, could not hear you guys for some reason.
Interesting. All right. Well, you know why? I know why, because I ended up subbing for the net until Ron got his explosion taken care of. So you probably couldn't hear my my less than stellar signal. So I'll get you checked in there too, since you said you were there. So we get you perfect attendance. And you're sounding great here on AM tonight. So thanks for checking in. Directing that roll call, the Old Tube Radio Network, looking for SWL 51.
SWL 51, check in. It's new key up.
It made it, and sounding good. Sounding good on AM and sounding great on sideband the other night. 305, we got you checked in.
Thank you, Dennis. Have a good evening.
SWL 52. SWL 53.
Hello, Dennis. 53, check it.
SWL 53, Mr. Belair. Thank you, Bob. I got you checked in. All right, I'm going to keep the key down keyed, and I am going to go over to... Let me go over to the other page here and see who's out there. Hello to X4000, right at the top. Doing a little Tango Echo Sierra apostrophe. Also, Jim in Connecticut, who listens in. Hi, Jim. I wish we could get some conditions when the sun goes down. Probably hear you guys in the mornings. It's been pretty good. Gremlins. Who else? Who is out there? Private Thor. Hey, Squamish, BC. You're probably over on my other page as well. The gang up there in BC doing some good work in the skip. Breaker Broke 23 is also watching and listening in. Hello to you. Smarty Jones from New York. Saying hello, good evening, everyone. I didn't get a big chance to jump in on Old Radio Night tonight and see who was out there. So those of you who made the trek over here to Old Tube Radio, thanks for that. Also listening in, Charlie Hustle 55 from the East Coast, and says, thanks for keeping me company at work tonight in the warehouse. Great DX in Baltimore today with 50 watts, and the JB12 was all he needed to talk across the country. That's what happens when the solar flux index starts getting up to those triple digits. And we are just at the beginning of 25. So maybe 25, maybe cycle 25 is going to be a good one. We've got a couple more years to find out for sure. Who else is out there that I might have missed? Anybody? We'll keep checking in before we get to the radios tonight. I'm just glad the audio is working. SWL 54, Larry on the Cosmic check-in. who, if he was around, all the radios would be working, right? Let's go over to SWL 55. SWL 56.
It's proxy 56 in.
All right, I will do that. 56 just 4 kicks. Somebody had to say it. SWL 57. And 57 is out there. Brown Dog Audio. Central Kentucky, I believe, is the place. SWL 41. Also Worldwide Sign Bander 507 and AC 244. I listened in on 16 lower. I didn't hear anything from there. Okay, you say Hudson. You know, I've got what is Hudson Valley. I should update my info here because I've got Central Kentucky. Or maybe you are what's the word? Ubiquitous? It's all places at all time. That's what happens when you have a big signal. We can hear you no matter where you're at. All right, 41 is in. Over to SWL 48. I'm sorry, SWL 57 is in. I don't know where I'm at. Over to SWL 58. Despite my best efforts, we will be doing the Old Tube Radio Network tonight. I'll give Jeremy a check-in. He's out being busy. He does the ditch band sideband net. Let me try some here. I'm living dangerously because nothing's working. But if I press I might actually be able to hear Jeremy here.
Here that I don't think has missed any. Let's try operator 321. That's Jerry.
What?
Hey, good evening, Jeremy and the net. I would say the best 11-meter antenna I had was the Mako. I believe it was.
Hey, there we go. That is the
Ditch
Ditchbanks. That is the Ditchbanks sideband net, the voice of SWL 58 Jeremy. So we'll get a check-in and also a little off frequency on my radio there, SWL 25. So that happens that happens Friday evenings at 8 p.m. Pacific time here in the Central Valley on 36 lower. So everybody's welcome. Give a listen. Tune up or tune down or tune in to the frequency on Friday at 8 p.m. and see what we can hear, what you can hear. Over to SWL 59. SWL 60.
Yeah, Dennis, doggone it, evening time to you and to the fellows out there, 60 checking in on this old Robin.
Man, it's just loud and clear and sounding great. And we'll talk more about the Robin. Don't touch a thing. It sounds great. Got you checked in.
Thanks a lot.
That's the way we love the tube radios. They just fire. Not like all this garbage I got here that works 5 minutes and then doesn't. Over to SWL 61.
61 checking in, Dennis.
All right, I know if Dino can hear me that I'm doing something right. Got you checked in. Over.
Thank you, sir.
SWL 62. SWL 63. SWL 64. SWL 65. SWL 66. SWL 67. And Bill, let's see, I didn't even check. Let me see who's in the other page here, up on oldtuberadio.net. Hello to, what I thought is correct. 04915 is really 14047. And Chet says, I'm here, right? Yeah, I do. That's how I knew it was you. That's how I knew it was you, Chet. You were just you're trying to fool me. You're trying to fool me, but you can't fool Net Control, right? Who else is out there? We have Santa Ana, California, Southern California. Hello to you. Auberry's listening in. Charlie's in there, Anoka, Spokane. Hello to you, Centerville, Virginia, San Francisco, Squamish, BC, Woodland Park, Colorado. As always, the unknown SWL up there in the balcony wearing the paper bag. Got the, let's see, now you need to turn it around. You'll never be able to see when you go downstairs. San Francisco again, probably X4000, and maybe 23 came in there. Sacramento, we know who that is. And Canby, Oregon, right on the top row. I should have seen you flashing the light down here. And that is Bill. We got you checked in, Bill, from Canby. Thanks so much. Over to SWL 68. SWL 69. And 69 is Kenny out there in Tulsa. Used to be checking in live, and he does. He comes by the Old Tube Radio Network playback. Hi, Ken. That is your number right there. Where is it? 69. And we got you checked in. Waving a hand to all. Well, I'll see your response whenever it comes in on... oh, it's over there. Okay. That's where the number is. We got you checked in.
We miss you, Kenny.
And he listens in, too. He checks in on the video side and says hello to everybody. Let's try SWL 70. SWL 71. Let me scroll down and see if Stan is in. Not yet. Looks like the comments are working, so I'm pretty sure if you usually get in on the page, you'll be able to see you. Eric in Clovis, SWL 72. SWL 73. I will check in 73. Heard him on the crossband earlier today. He's going to be doing some antenna work and some rotor work and all sorts of stuff. It's still good weather to do that. It's not too cold yet. Over to SWL 74. And I get a check-in for Miss Jilly, who's probably busy now that Thanksgiving is over, busy on Thanksgiving and getting ready for the Christmas stuff. SWL 75. SWL 77.
Good evening, Dennis, and you're doing a great job, man. And hello to all the listeners out there. 77, we're on the old Cam 88 on the Tower of Power in the Tower District, checking in.
Yeah, it sounds great. We will talk about the Cam 88. You've got the controls just right. I was going to say you were definitely on the other radio, but old technology wins out again. All right, we'll look for you in a little bit. SWL 78. Richard and Everett. Is that... I'm seeing if Rich is out there on my list. I did see Washington. Who was in there? Spokane. So if that's you, let me know. Over to SWL 79.
79, checking in.
All right, thanks for being patient. Mr. DC, sounding good. And over to SWL 80. Then we'll head over to page 4, if I can find it. Let me see what's happening in the green room tonight. The doors are open. There is a crowd. Parking, I'm just checking outside. There is still parking if you want to head over to the green room, up to the green room tonight, take the elevator, or come down from the stage balcony. We do have monitors in there. You can hear the program, although they turn them down, and then they do something else. But tell them, if you go back in there and tell them to turn the monitors up so you can hear what's going on. Hello, Bob and Steve out of Ohio tonight. It says, hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving after dinner. The Jingle Singer said they wanted to go on a weight loss program. Doesn't everybody, except me. I'm still fitting in the same suit for 40 years. Riding the exercise bike and the treadmill is not enough. Sometimes it isn't, especially if you have seconds and thirds on turkey. So they've rented on the card, of course, they've rented a fitness machine and weights and a dumbbell set. I saw them carrying stuff down the hallway on this dolly, and I thought maybe it was some really good rack gear equipment, but it looks like it was the exercise machines. I haven't been over there to check it out. Some are in the steam room and the sauna now. So yeah, if you ate too much, or if you're planning to eat too much, definitely head over to the green room and check out the new fitness center. At the bar tonight, leftovers in the crock pots and coffee for later. There will be Chattanooga, Tennessee moon pies. I don't know what that is. Come on down from the net. What's the old saying? Chattanooga choo-choo may be fast, but we've got a team that rates first class, and there's something else. That was our Cub Scout motto cheer. And I have no idea what it had to do with the Chattanooga choo-choo, but I think it just sounded good. Thank you, Bob and Steve, for keeping us all together and well-fed, and I guess well unfed once we get to the exercise stuff. Page 4, SWL 81, Mr. Unicorn, Steve Areno. You are out there listening, I know, somewhere. Hopefully you have a good connection or are able to dial in, whatever. But we miss the unknown radio and all the good stuff you had. So continue on with what you're doing. And there is the check-in for 81. Over to SWL 82.
82 checking in. Try not to pop any breakers or try to keep the smoke in the radio. And thanks for running that net there last night. Appreciate it.
You know, things worked a lot better last night than they are working tonight. So I got lucky. I got lucky finding all the stuff. Anyway, you sound good now. You were managed to start it and finish it. So in between, I just filled in the holes in between, but you did good in and out of that. All right, Ron, you are sounding good with a signal well over S9 here in the Midtown. Thanks.
All right, thanks.
Then we head over to SWL 84. And I'm going to give Jerry a check-in. I heard him checking in a couple days ago, Wednesday, I think, over on 40 meters. He's one of the net controllers for one of the 40 meters net, and he sounded good. He was checking in and doing his stuff, and can you see that back there? It's all behind the wires. The Old Tube Radio on the Air official light. That is courtesy of SWL 84 and all the gang over there, and it's still firing up. I always have to look back there to make sure I am on the air. So, Jerry, if you're listening, you're checked in. We'll get everybody else, too. Let's go down to Reedley for SWL 85. And we will get the proxy check-in for 86, 87, and 88, and that is the Mountain Maid, Tandy Girl, and the Snowy Owl, respectively. Over to SWL 89. We've got a proxy check-in for SWL 90. SWL 92. SWL 93. And I will get a check-in for 93 as per the note here. Over to SWL 98. Okay, I just barely hear you. Sounds like you're going somewhere, but you are checked in, Dave, and take it easy and take care. Over. All right, 544, checked in on the Old Tube Radio Network. Here we go into the big numbers here. 103. That is Jeff. I don't think he's out there in the mobile. I would probably hear him. Let's go up to Albury for the big signal, SWL 109. Over to Millerton, SWL 110. Checking in earlier, we can always hear Reed Lee. He said he was only hearing the Tower of Power, so probably signed out for the evening. If you're listening in, Robert, we do have you checked in. Heard you fine business on AM tonight. Over to SWL 113. SWL 114.
114, checking in.
114. I got you in, Wayne, and you are sounding good in the Old Tube Radio Network.
Thank you for the check-in.
SWL 128. I was so busy I did not get on HF at all today, and I bet there's another big, ginormous, as 47 would say, contest going on. Scrolling down, looking for, about an hour ago, there is SWL 128 checking in and saying, hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. John, it was good. It was good here all the way around. Out there in Fairfax, Virginia. Might be SWLing some other stuff as he's listening to the Old Tube Radio Network tonight. Next we go to SWL 131. Then we've got SWL 133.
Good evening, Dennis. 133 checking in.
And good evening to the northwest part of the fair city of Fresno, where you are sounding good here in Midtown tonight. Thanks, Dave.
Thank you.
SWL 135. I'm amazed at how good my B-side audio is working tonight. I hope I'm not hitting it too hard on the audio. Let me check something here. Where's my camera for the audio? All right, this is the REA meter, and I've got it set up so if you're watching the video, I've got 95 on the negative peaks and about 125 on the positive. I'm hitting the positive, and the negative peaks are coming in just a little bit, but not all the time. So I'm not going to make an audio adjustment. If it sounds, ooh, let me do the tone thing. Ooh, yeah, that's bad. If it sounds distorted or something on the air at 27085, let me know, and I'll back it off just a bit. It looks like we're keeping the negatives below 100. So back over, I did call 135, right? How about SWL 137? We've got a proxy check in there, and that will take us up to SWL 145. Tony.
Well, good evening, Dennis, and all the SWLs. Tony, 145 in Course Gold, where the outside pipes are wrapped. The cast iron stove is blazing with oak wood and just trying to make it through another cold night. With that, thank you for covering last night. You did a great job. Back to you, Dennis. 145 in Course Gold, Tony.
All right, thanks. Anybody remember the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson? I sort of felt like, you used to drive down to the studio in Burbank, and you would wait in line, and you'd get in there, and you never knew who the host was going to be. You expect it was going to be Johnny, right? And you'd get there, and then it would be Charles Nelson Riley or somebody else. That's what I felt like last night. All these people tuning in, you'd hear the mellifluous tones of SWL 58 Jeremy, and they got a Charles Nelson Riley out of the thing. Tony, you are sounding good on AM, and we've got you checked in. Thanks.
Thank you.
Then we go over to SWL 147. And I'm checking to see if Neil has checked in, but scrolled off of my screens here. And if you have, I will find you if I miss you. There's Keith, if I didn't say hello, from Rocky Mountain, VA, Mr. Sierra Radio in Foreland. Hello to you. Let's see. Boy, this is small type. 20 years ago it wasn't. 20 years ago it wasn't such small type. All right, I don't see Neil in just yet. Hello, Paul Williams is also in. I have. Hello, Paul. Saying hello to you. Let's go over to SW up in Course Gold, SWL 195.
195 checking in, Dennis. I hope you had a good Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Maybe I will have to go down and work on the treadmill for a little while, but I am feeling good. So hopefully you've got everything, like Tony said, everything winterized and ready to go up there for the cold weather coming up. You're sounding good. We got you checked in.
Thank you, Dennis. It's going to be turkey sandwiches all next week. Have a good one.
Turkey and cranberry and, yeah, the Charlie Alpha Tango. Charlie Alpha Tango is always liking this time of the year when there's the little extra tidbits in the food dish that don't come out of a can, right? Then let's go over to SWL 226. And I will get Jeff checked in. He could not hear me last night, but sometimes I can hear him up in Mariposa. Anybody else before we head over to the tube radios and all that good stuff that would like to check in or say something? And I will be listening for your item of interest. Over. Sounds pretty good. My noise level went down. I remembered to turn off all the LED lighting, which throws in a lot of hash. I am decked out in the official, where is it? Yeah, there it is, the official Old Tube Radio. I know who I am. I've got the seersucker suit and ready to do the radios here momentarily. We'll be right back on your Old Tube Radio Network. Well, I hope we're ready to go. You're listening to the Old Tube Radio Network.
You may not find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
Yeah, RADIO. Perhaps your Old Tube RADIO tonight, the Old Tube Radio Network. Real radios glowing in the dark here in Central California, but all over the place. It seems, with Skip doing its thing and the bands opening up, and of course, here for 35 years, our tube radio operators who managed to sneak away. Maybe they don't have to sneak away. Maybe they just turn on the radio and say, that's what we're going to do on a Saturday evening. A lot of you have been doing that for a long time. And we'll check them in, see what we've got. So I've got the Old Tube Radio list ready to go, and I'm ready for your radio check-ins.
77. 45.
All right, I have, I think, 3 lined up. We've got 77... and 7 and 45, so that's the Tower of Power, Mr. Ed, and Paul up in North Fork. So Paul and Ed, head over to the green room. There is all sorts of good stuff. We will catch you as we can. Ed, you'll be radio number 2. Paul, you'll be radio number 3, and then over to Dennis with an item of interest here at what time is it? 8:57 Pacific Standard Time. Over.
Yeah, Dennis. Well, we're slowly but surely getting this thing figured out, making some improvements here and there with the audio gear, and just having a good time with it. And boy, the DX was just amazing today. Boy, we had a blast. I think we've sat in this chair right here for about 9 hours straight, and it was awesome.
Seems like it comes in the morning. It's still in the afternoon, and of course, all the bands are good. I'm hearing stations on 15 meters and 12 meters. Again, when the sunspots come up and the solar flux is near 100, great things happen. So that's a good thing for Cycle 25.
Yeah. If it's any indication, Cycle 25 is going to be great. So anyway, not to get off subject there, but the old Cam 88 has been sitting here most of the afternoon warming up, and probably here locally somebody heard this crazy man out here testing and tuning and doing this and doing that, but just having a good time with the radio. It's just been a great radio. So the tubes are warmed up. It's a B&K Industries Dynascan Corporation, and they call it the bus because the front of it looks like an old school bus there. Go ahead.
What do they say? The wheels on the bus go round and round, and there are plenty of knobs to go round and round, showing 2 pictures, top with the mod light and no extra switch, and the bottom with the switch, which I think is the rain boost. Smooth audio, nice and clear, no distortion, full fidelity, and there's not much to go wrong. A little bit of help on the microphonium input, and you've got some classic AM transmitter right there, and it knows what to do with the audio.
Yeah, normally we're running the old school Electro Voice 664, but today we switched over to the RE320 late model, little newer Electro Voice, but took some adjusting, but as usual, whatever I feed the radio, it figures out what to do with it.
And it does it well. In the days before delegating compressors and limiters and things to keep everybody on the up and up, the radios would, if you wanted to drive the bus over the speed limit, you could do that. But I think you are in between the lines and right at the speed limit. It sounds good. The Cobra Cam 88. I'm looking to see if I have a year of manufacture on that, and I do not. But I'm going to say it's probably one of their final tube radios.
Yeah, I looked at the serial number, somewhere 6970, right around there.
That is what I'm thinking. It has that look. They were probably already designing solid state stuff for mobile use, and trying to figure out how to do that newfangled thing when they didn't realize that everything they had already was good enough and maybe even better. You are probably making the modulation light blink okay, and I don't know if the range boost is on or off or even on the radio, but you don't need to touch a thing. It sounds great. Radio number 1 with a little bit, for those of you who are into the high fidelity audio, this is what you can do with just a little effort on your tube radio if you want to smooth things out with microphoniums and maybe a little limiting or equalization or compression. You get a decent radio, and it will certainly play. Back to you.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Right now, just a slight bit of equalization. Actually, everything's pretty neutral. And no compression, just running it straight through into the tube ultra gain preamp before it goes into the radio.
And perfect levels. Look it on the Orban meter, and that sounds good in the headphoniums, and also looks good on the scope. I just put the S meter in, so take another transmission, and I'll get the video with both the radio and the S meter. So if you ever want to give yourself a radio report, you can do that.
Okay, well, hopefully we're coming in loud and proud there. And boy, there's a lot of good radios out there, and a lot of great operators. I sure appreciate it, Dennis, and 73s to all the listeners.
All right, 73, sounding good. I hope 34 was listening. I hope Jim was listening, Railroader, because he could hear the in the background perfectly, like you were playing the sound effect record, the locomotive jumping through the old Tube Radio Network here. Thanks for radio number 1. Let me do a couple of housekeeping things. And Mr. Ed, you can step up into the air chair here at 9:03. Number 1, where did it go? I wanted to say hello to our sponsor. I thought I had... Oh, there it is. It's underneath all the junk. Our sponsor tonight for the pen that goes into the pocket protector, RCA. The Old Tube Radio Network, brought to you by RCA, the most trusted name in electronics. So there's our RCA pen. You can kind of see the gold or the silver on the black logo. I don't know if it writes. Does it even write? I don't know how old this pen is. Oh, damn, there's ink coming out of this thing. I don't believe it. All right, so into the pocket protector it goes. I'm out of practice. There we go. Didn't break anything. Also, I want to check in Mitch. Let me go to the SWL mode, SWL23, who is on the road. I guess Espresso Trucking Company from last week took a detour, and I'm not sure if he runs sound for those guys or not. DX has been running here on the left coast all week, worked New Zealand, Alaska, the whole southeast, central, and upper Midwest, including coast-to-coast shots with the stock TRC 457. All right, Mitch, okay on the Radio Shack, and a little bit of conditions from cycle 25, sounding good, and we've got you checked in from wherever you are tonight. I'm not sure where your your game piece is showing up on the list tonight. Up in the air chair should be SWL7. Hello, radio.
Hello, radio. SWL number 7 checking in with the Robin T123 no B with the winking and blinking eye, which is green. The cabinet is green, and the channel selector for 11 in that area is green. So someone out there should be happy.
We'll kind of work our way into the color scheme tonight. You know, just till we can get the Kermit the Frog radio. Where's the picture? There we go. There's the picture of the Robin with the magic eye tube. That I'm sure that thing is really dancing tonight. Your audio is loud.
Oh, well, yeah, and maybe some artifacts here and there, but yeah, it's 2 Niners old radio. That's the reason why it's probably loud.
Yeah, he definitely liked them. What did Everett used to say? Loud and proud. GWD Labs is calling it the Green Hornet. Yeah, that is the Green Hornet radio. Although with Robin, it could be the Batman radio too.
There you go. Well, it seems to still be working, so yeah, it seems to work better now than it was, and I don't even know why. So hey, that's the way it tubes.
Absolutely. In fact, it is talking. You might see the meter, or you might hear it is talking back to you a little bit on the audio as it unwarms up or warms up. Give us another transmission, radio number 2, a fine item of interest on a Saturday evening for the Old Tube Radio Network, the Robin T123, over.
Thank you very much. With that, we'll warm up some more tubes and get them on the air.
You know, on Saturday evenings, tubes is a good thing here in the Old Tube Radio Network. And speaking of tubes, here is a gentleman stepping up into the air chair. Hello, Paul, at 9:07, that in his assembled radio room or radio area, I'm going to say he has probably well over 1,000 tubes in the radios, and there's probably more that may not be on display or ready to be fired up. So out of those 1,000-plus tubes, he is going to be sharing at least 7 or 8 of them with us in this next transmission. Hello, 45, over.
Hi, Dennis. Anyway, I want to check in my Browning Raven.
Okay, let me go to the Rolodex file under Browning Laboratories, and we will... the radios that are really rare, like the Raven, I have a little yellow surround around the 3x5 card. And so let me put that up. And this was the companion. The Raven came out about the same time as the R27 S23. So the first Eagle radios, and the Raven sort of was a companion to that. Maybe a mobile version. There it is. It's got, I'll tell you one thing, it may not have a big channel selector, but if you want to give somebody a signal report or you want to know you're on the air, you can do that. Back to you.
Okay, well, I hope you can click on that thing. Rob added my radio to it. If you click on that image, it should hit my radio on it. You've got it changed over yet. Try that.
Oh, you know what I have to do? Let me see if I go into this one. Yes, I do. Great. Yeah, things still don't update, but I may have to do something. I am going to, I'll do it live. I think I can do that. So what I'll do is I'll go to this, and we'll go there, and presto changeo. It should go to your radio. Oh, there it is, your radio setup. With the power supply. You know, that's actually a much better picture. The radio is a lot bigger than it looks. Over.
You got it. Yeah, the microphone, the red heel push button, it's red on the thing. It's a Browning, regular stock Browning microphone. The thing. It's got the big, you can see a big meter on the thing. You can see it real well. That's famous for Browning. And then the power supply, it has this thing put, which I put on the screw there. It was always screwed up, mounted it to it. It's got the Raven, exactly the Raven key. I don't know what it's for. I never figured it out. The radio I got, this guy, the guy that gave me the radio, he said that's very important to have that key. I never could figure out what made it work. But anyway, it's interesting. Back to you.
It is the external power supply. I can see their logo. Boy, that is. If you want to give somebody an S-meter report, the S-meter is, a quarter of the radio there, and then you're on the air light. Now, we were talking to Michael earlier, we don't have some haiku tonight, but we have a little bit of Edgar Allan Poe with the Raven. Let me get to the extreme close-up. There's the Raven. All right, there's the Raven logo. Sort of reminds me of, what is it, Harley Davidson or something. Let me slide over to the Raven logo on the power supply. And you can look down. It's pretty cool. You can look down and see those tubes glowing. Over.
I didn't get most of that, but I got part of it. If you meant the ceramic microphone by Shure, it does have the logo on the thing, on the front of it. And so it's definitely the stock mic for it. This thing, well, I'll tell you what, it's got dual resistors on the front end. I tell you what, they really work on this radio. It's top quality. Back to you.
Yeah, cool radio. Sounds good. I don't have production. I do have actually an advertisement that comes up. Let me switch over to that. Birds of a Feather. They called the Eagle and the Raven. So it came out 1964 or 65 with the Eagle. give wings to your CB communications. Here it is, the Raven's mobile transceiver. Everybody's raving about the new Raven. The transmitter has 100% peak limited plate modulation, so you got a plate modulated radio there. Optoelectronic automatic compressor. Receive has sensitivity, and it gives the quieting and sensitivity ratings. Adjacent channel rejection of 80 dB down. Plus, and this is a big plus, 2 new Vistor Cascade front end and all 23-channel crystal control transmit and receive, no synthesizing. So no wonder that thing's so big. It's got to pack all those tubes and all the crystals. 12 tubes, 19 functions, plus 2 transistors, 9 diodes, only 4 inches high, 10.5 inches wide, and 8 inches deep. Thank you, the Browning Laboratories at 1269 Union Avenue in Laconia, New Hampshire. That's from April 1966. So if you can hear me, Paul, back to you for another transmission. The Raven is sounding good. Thanks for bringing it by. Over.
Yeah, you bet. I got one thing you left out a little bit. You got everything else covered pretty well. My plate input was 5 watts. It says output 3.5 watts plus. Never seen one put plus on it before. Thanks for checking in,
37.
And 37, you will be next at Radio 4, so stand by. They were trying to please the FCC, no doubt, for the 5-watt DC input, which I think was maybe legally 4 watts output. I noticed a lot of the manufacturers talked about 3.5 watts output, so I think they were just trying to be okay with the FCC, saying, yeah, we got 5 in, 3.5 out. Don't bug us, right? Leave us alone. And if you knock on somebody's door and you find a little bit more, or maybe a lot more than 3.5, it ain't our fault, because we put it in writing. The Browning Raven sounding good, a rare bird indeed, and perfect for this post-Thanksgiving radio show tonight. Thanks.
One of my favorites, definitely. I like it. I think I like it better than most of them in there. It's so compact with 12 tubes in the thing and everything, but it's still very attractive radio. Thanks for checking in, Dennis.
Thanks for bringing it by. Next radio is 37. Chris, we're going to jump over to the Jingle Singers, jump into the air chair, and we will be right back with your item of interest on the Old Tube Radio Network, as soon as we figure out where did the Jingle Singers go and what control they are supposed to be on, so I can find them. Let's try this one.
How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? Greetings to you, wherever you are. For music and the latest news from home and from afar, the station for you is
OTR, Old Tube Radio.
The station for you is
OTR.
We hope the station for you is OTR. That's the Old Tube Radio Network, beaconing over the airwaves here for the last 35 years or so in Central California on Saturday evenings, talking with and sharing the airwaves with those classic tube radios from 1958 to 1978 from the Class D Citizen Band radio service. My name is Dennis, just one of the net controllers that's been in the air chair here and those 35 years, taking your check-ins, as we're doing now with radio number 4. Hello, Chris.
Hello, Dennis. WL 37 here. We are going to check in my general radio telephone, the Super MC11A. This is the 24-channel version right there. Running the non-amplified stock microphone. This radio here has got the old man in the wheelchair with the IV thing hanging on the side there, but we'll be doing what it does.
And what it does is sound good week after week. Those watching the video or over at oldtuberadio.net will see a displayed picture of the Super MC11A displaying all of its 23 channels and S-meter and the original stock microphone, which is what Chris is using to produce all that great AM audio. Back to you.
24 channels.
It does say that. If I read the card correctly, It will say 9-tube, 2-transistor CB transceiver, 24 channels, with more information on Sam's PhotoFax Book 22, page 45. Over.
That's right. And this thing's keying up, what I'm going to tell you. It's keying up about 4.5. It's swinging up to about 18.
Yeah, I'm sure they put it to General Radio Telephone, put that thing out the door with their 5-watt DC input and a promise of at least 3.5 watts output, and you are finding that it does indeed that.
Of course, that's on the PE reader. I don't know what it does. Let me see what it does without the peak on it. Let me see. Well, without the peak, it goes to 10 almost.
Yeah, that's good. If you have the peak meter off, the peak portion of the meter turned off, and you see forward movement on the S meter, that is usually an indication that things are working correctly.
Well, I think it's working a lot better since I cleaned it up here last week.
You know, everybody does well with a bath now and then.
You know, I took one here last week, too. I took a... it does work better with a bath.
Absolutely. And there is green on this radio for those who do like green on their CB radios. Is the channel selector, the background, is it green all the way around? I know sometimes they would make different color schemes to let you know that you were on the channels that were supposed to be used, intra-call and, calls of the same license and things like that. But if that rotates around, is it green all the way through?
You know what? Let me check real quick. Hang on.
All right, this is the check real quick frequency. Let me say hello to who else has joined us tonight. Breaker Broke 23 is listening in tonight. Stations from Germantown, Wisconsin. Been listening in a long time out there in Wisconsin. Wilmington, Ohio, and a host of others. All right, what did you find out on the channel selector? Over.
It is green all the way around with the black numbers.
So you always know where you are.
Absolutely. It's kind of nice knowing that there where you are, huh?
It certainly is. All right. Well, it's good to know where you are. Let me go back to, so we put the S meter in there and you give yourself a radio report when you recheck. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, right there we are. We're on channel 1127.085 on your AM dial right here on good old OTR Fresno.
Sounding good. And yeah, you got the audio cranked tonight. You're actually getting some extra movement on the S meter tonight. Sounding good. Thanks for bringing it by to the Old Tube Radio Network.
Yes. I will see what we can do. Come on.
Number 7.
And number 7 at the microphonium. Jump up in the air chair. You will be radio number 5. I'll log you in at 9:20 Pacific time. I want to say hello to who is out there that I missed. I'm trying to scroll up on the screen here, but oops, it went away. I thought I saw somebody new out there, so I'll find you. But anyway, take a transmission, and hopefully I will find the radio that you are on.
Oh, that would be me. I guess the Tram TR27E, 23 channel transmit and receive.
Over to the tram. What do they call the damn tram? TR27E, the final line in the TR27 series. I think I saw a TR27C on one of the Facebook pages that somebody had. That one has the little slightly different, and I don't know if all the E's had the large meter or not, but I think the C has a slightly smaller meter. This one has the large meter. There's the radio, and we get a bonus, in fact, that this is in our files a picture of the actual radio. Where did it go? The actual radio that you are talking on. There it is, way on the other side of the page. Take a transmission.
Yes, the big green machine, 5x7 speaker, good old S meter there, is about 3.5 by 3 inches tall, and it's pretty decent little radio. Oh, and I have the Electro Voice 638 microphone attached.
Matching proper microphone impedance to the old tube radio microphone input is always a good thing. Makes things sound nice, and it is indeed doing that. And then Mitch says, TR27E, all teal, no squeal. The audio is good.
Oh, there you go. Yes, it is actually teal, not green, but we won't tell somebody on the chat there that it's not actually green. It's green. Anyway, and the S meter you can see there definitely goes into the green, not red.
This will be, I guess, when we get into our Christmas program, the green and red. There are not a lot of red radios, but the green and red radios will be, and maybe the silver ones as well, will be a good motif. You've got some thumbs up and a good awesome from, I bet you can tell who's giving you the awesome on that one. Give us a transmission. I'll put up the S meter, and we'll see where you're at.
Oh, there you go. Well, we'll see what the old tram is doing, only from, of course, a mile away from your area. Definitely a waving the hand to Chrissy.
Indeed, Radio 5, the tram TR27E, with its 3.5 watts minimum of power from 1963. And Mitch notes that the 5-watt input was good for about 3.2 to 3.5 watts output in the 65 or 70% efficient. And then the FCC changed the rules to 4 watts. That's what I thought. It was like 5 and 4 at some point when the modern designs exceeded 3.5 watts out. But they wanted you to play by the rules, and we're doing that tonight. Sounding good. Thanks for bringing it by.
Oh, thank you very much. Actually, this one's been tuned up to peak of just a little over 20 watts.
Yeah, and see, with that, you can underdrive the audio a little bit and probably still stay within specs. I know the AM guys hated it when they went to, 1,500 watts on output on amateur band, and then they went to 1,500 watts PEP, which meant if you were running AM, if you're running good old AM, you had to crank it down to about 365 watts at 100% modulation. The old tube radio network. We are standing by. Let me see if the jingle singers, if they actually worked okay last time. So I will run back over to the other microphonium here, and they do look like they are ready. So here we go. You're listening to the Old Tube Radio Network.
How do you do? Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you. Wherever you are, your favorite spot on the dial by far is known to you as
OTR. The Old Tube Radio Network.
The station for you is
OTR.
And we are looking for radio number 6.
37.
And number 7.
All right, we've got 37. Step up into the air chair. Chris, you'll be radio 6, and then we'll grab Ed for radio 7. The official time, 9:25. That's sort of the unofficial time on my huge LED or LCD. No, it's LED segmented Micronta clock that sometimes gets set to WWV and then immediately gets unset when the power goes out or something else happens. Chris, tell us what you got over.
Okay, Dennis. Well, this time here, I am going to check in on my Crisp 23 Plus CB transceiver. There's a 23-channel tuber that glows in the dark, and we are running this in here with a non-amplified original stock microphone. Over.
Like it showed up out of the box. I guess those are probably in a box when you picked it up from the electronics store or ordered it from something. I don't know where you would buy these. Probably just electronics, radio stores. There were a lot of radio stores. Fresno. When I got to Fresno in 1973, there was Bowen's and the place in Mayfair. What was it? Hearts 66. Webster Radio was still around, and I'm sure there was probably some other places that would be able to order or actually have radios. In fact, I bought my first big stick. I walked into Bowen's. I walked into the CB shop Remember those? I walked into the CB shop. We miss Mr. Bill and, of course, the Red Monkey Communications. Kind of the last holdout. But back in the 1970, 72, 73, you could go and pick this up at the corner CB shop. Back to you.
Okay. Well, yeah, this is the last one for me tonight. I still got to fix my microphone on the other one, but when I get it going, it will be firing up also. I got to get it wired. Anyway, Dennis, I thank you very much, and this is, like I said, the last radio for midnight, the Chris 23 Plus, and it does have that magic blinking red light every time I talk, and if I got it turned up high enough, it blinks even when you talk. All right, Dennis, I'm out and listening on the other.
Okay, well, with all the things going on tonight, something is blinking over there. I mean, I have blinking here. It's probably not a good thing. Radio number 6 is the Chris 23 Plus. I might make sure I write it in on the notes there, and thanks for that. Mr. Ed stepping up into the air chair. But first, I want to go to the SWL roster and say hello to 147. And Kakalaki is in the house tonight. Hello, Neil. With the late check-in, lots of good action from the West Coast. That's what I've heard. Early morning, at least here, early morning and early afternoon, with the sunspots up and the solar flux where it needs to be to work on some conditions, putting 147 in the box. Talk to Southern California, Washington, Idaho, Colorado, Nevada, all jumping through the speaker, plus Alaska and Hawaii. We hear Hawaii, but I haven't heard of Hawaii or Alaska. It's all been the East Coast. They usually come in at the end of the run. So hopefully I'll have some time tomorrow to play radio, or at least try and get this conglomeration fixed so that I can do that. Radio number 7 at 9:29. Hello, Ed. Over.
And hello, TR. This time, the Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB.
I'm just checking. Is that the first Browning? No, we don't have the first Browning. We had the Browning Raven. See, that fooled me. I'm used to a Golden Eagle or something. But let's see, the Browning in 1965, the Raven in 65, 66, and then run up another 7 or 8 years. And this is what you get from your local Browning dealer. Okay, why is the Brownings not showing up? That's interesting. Take a transmission.
There we go. Yeah, the good old Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB with the static D104, but it's also the gold-plated limited edition microphone they put out in 1976 for the bicentennial.
There was a lot of stuff for the bicentennial. Songs and parades, and it's got to have a microphone to go with it.
There you go. There was special quarters and all kinds of, that goes commemorative everything for that. So there you go.
Okay, and I finally managed to get the picture here without blowing anything up. I don't know, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. At least the radio is always there. There's the receiver-transmitter combination, and this one even shows, I want to get the picture because it shows the Golden Eagle microphonium to go with the radio as well. Sounding good, doing a good job, and thanks for bringing it by radio number 7. How did you do that?
Timing. Thank you very much for allowing me to bring the 2 radios by and get a chance to work them out. With that, we'll sit back and take a listen.
All right, I'm writing it down on the log here. The Mark III SSB. I want to say hello to who's in there, new? Maniac 207, just being a maniac out tonight. Says he loves the Chris 23 Plus. He runs a Chris Big Boomer tube amplifier. Hey, Christopher, that's what you need. You need the Big Boomer to go with the radio. And he says the Big Boomer is the same color as the radio. Palomar did that too. They made their radio look like the Skipper and the Courier, the M1. The Browning, of course, with the 180. So they're all their, what is it, wink, wink, nod, nod business band amplifiers were a nice little match for your radio table. Speaking of the radio table, we are looking for radio number 8.
25.
And 25 is in the clear. You're not having to fight the air chair for anybody here. So step on up. I will clear the rigs, and we will add the... I probably shouldn't have cleared off the one, because I have a feeling you might have another Golden Eagle Mark III over.
Well, I was kind of looking forward to going in the air chair with the leftover pumpkin pie and apple pie and turkey and whatever they had, cookies and stuff, but oh well, maybe another day. Anyway, no need to re-cue anything on the pictures. Here is yet another Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB on the non-powered banana mic. And you did a great job of describing the last one, so there's no real reason to go through it all again. So all I know is the red on the air light is on, and hopefully you can hear me on your end without using a string and 2 empty cans. Back to you, Dennis.
Yeah, what we call a Dixie cup and a kite string is not necessary, and I put up the Orban loudness meter to show that thing, even as far away as it is producing some great YAM audio, as always is the case for the Browning radios tonight. And I have, as I mentioned before, had the opportunity, had the pleasure of sitting in front of that and driving it for an old Tube Radio Network episode long ago. It might have been, I'm guessing it might have even been in the 20th century, but perhaps it was a 21st century item of interest. Radio 8 is sounding good, and that thing just plays. It never seems to miss a beat. Over.
Well, you know what, Dennis, thanks for reminding me of that. We're going to have to do one of those, maybe at some kind of an annual celebration or whatever. But I don't know where the tying the knot and the kite string and having 2 empty dog cans. We used to use dog food cans, and by golly, it worked. But I don't know where that came from. It just popped into my mind right at that moment, and I apologize if anybody's never tried that. You got to try it, even though you look goofy doing it. Anyway, thanks, Dennis. Back to you. Then thanks for checking the radio in.
Thanks for bringing it by. That is why we do this on Saturday evenings, to get the radios, to drive them around the block like an old car, right? It can't sit in the garage forever. You got to fire it up and back it out in the driveway and drive it around the block. And that's what we do these radios once a week. Maybe a lot of these, maybe some of these are daily drivers, and this is the radio you talk on when you're shooting skip. And I hope a lot of our listeners and people watching do the same thing with their radios wherever they are, get on the air at night, or maybe just perhaps your tube radio, your vintage radio is your daily use radio. They certainly can be with the way they sound. Thanks for, what are you on? Radio 8, over. And hello to, let's see, who is it? Private Thor is in there watching tonight. And the EV, I have some pictures of that somewhere. It is classic Mike. And you talk to the Collins collectors, and I would say half of the guys that probably got a nice Collins S-line have one of those EV microphones, 667 or 664, somewhere on the radio bench. Let me see if I can do this. We'll do a copy and paste here. And there it is. Good. From the radio bench of Dan McLean, his collection of vintage Lafayette CB radios. So we have Lafayettes. We used to have a lot of Lafayettes checking in. Don't hear that many, but Dan's got a whole line of the HE, probably HA series, the older ones. Some of those were made by DeWalt, I think. The early ones, the chassis were DeWalt chassis, like the 25B, I think was the Panasonic chassis. But some good stuff. Wish you were closer, Dan. We'd love to hear the Lafayette radios. Old Tube Radio Network standing by.
KB6GFD, W6OTR.
Hello, 45. Hello, Paul. Step up into the air chair, and we're going to see if we can catch Harvey. So hang on. I think we're doing a crossband here. KB6GFD, over.
Yeah, W6OTR, checking in. I'll be home at about 5, and I'll try and turn on a couple of radios.
All right, sounding good. We just got you checked in on the crossband. You are sounding good. Drive. Do not break the law to get in on time with OTR. We will be around for you. Relax, and we will see you in just a little bit. Thanks for checking in. KB6GFD.
You got it. W6OTR.
All right, Paul. There we go. Had to take that check in. Over to you. Over. Hello, 45.
Hi, yes. Yeah, I just got back to the microphone. I want to check my General Radio Telephone Super MC12.
You're bringing out... Let me get some picture on the thing here. You're bringing out the good stuff tonight. I will see if we have a Super MC12 in the archives. I think we do. It's got great audio, as it should, and hopefully you are able to hear me okay. Over.
Yeah, they're in there. You'll find it. I know you will. Anyway, this thing was the last... You got it. That's the radio. Doesn't show the microphone on the thing. I'll talk about the microphone first. He came out with a CM3, matched this radio. Mine's not working real well right now, so I had to go ahead and use a Charter 350C, which is the same mic, but I think that'll rust up into the microphones that the other stock mics don't do. Back to you.
Well, as we have proven, or I should say as our tube radio operators have proven, the general radio telephones, especially those, the Super Series with the ECLL 800 microphoniums, play quite well with stock microphones. In fact, if you do anything amplified, you pretty much have to turn it way, way down. Sounding really good, and that is it says the picture is from your collection out in the flora and fauna, back when there was, in the days before the drought, when there was flora and fauna. It's doing good. Give me another transmission. Over.
Okay. Well, this one here has the super explosive on the thing. I know you heard about that. That was new to General. The explosive in the arm section, you need 1/2 the arm tube on the thing. And that gave you control, gain control, and everything at one, I would say, 1 meter was control. So really interesting. They did a real good job. But too bad to see they got closed down. But that's the way it is with everything, seems like. Thank you.
Sometimes those things happen. That's why I like the Old Tube Radio Network. You can always kind of count on it. Even when everything else gets wacky and wild and maniacal, there is this 2 hours. There is this 2 hours on Saturday evening that just kind of seem to flow along. And you know what to expect. Well, sometimes you don't know what to expect, but you know you're going to get some classic radios. Paul, the 12 sounds really good. I'm trying to see if there's any indication on what the differences were. The Super MC12 was very much like the Super MC11A general radio telephone. They sold the Skyhawk Antenna Company in 1972, and they upgraded the MC-12 with a much larger and powerful final audio tube. But the MC-12 really didn't ever get the proper FCC acceptance because of that. And it probably has something to do with the DC input and the DC output that we were talking about a little bit earlier. The last General Radio Telephone out of Burbank manufactured was this unit. Over to you.
Yeah, that's the last one. They had some good ideas going on the thing, but I guess they were just too powerful for the FCC to accept them. It is pretty powerful. You can do a lot with these radios. It's really make it work, really make them talk. Interesting radio, like I say, it's in the past and it's enjoyable. Thanks to Mayor Dennis for checking it in.
Thanks for bringing it by. I put the S meter on that last transmission, and you were almost at S9. Some of your radios are at S7, so you've got a good 10 dB on the output over probably some of the radios that are doing 1 or 2 watts, and the audio is just nice and loud, and pierces through the ether with not a problem. Radio number 9 from Paul. We've got the General Radio Telephone Super MC-12. The Jingle Singers are saying it is the quarter hour, so let's do the Jingle Singer quarter hour beacon to let everyone know that this is your Old Tube Radio Network.
You're listening in the latest style at
27.085 megahertz. Channel 11 Old Tube Radio.
In wonderful
Fresno, California.
And I apologize for some of the weird levels tonight. I'm using sort of a plan B on the audio board because I was having problems with the standard stuff, and I don't have all the compressors and limiters between the on-air and the over the internet feeds for the Studio B. So if you notice some level discrepancies, or you're cursing me when you have to throw off the headphoniums, that is why I will try to do better next week. And what is going on with the video? I don't know. We are looking for radio number 10.
Well, Dennis, if I may.
Yes, you certainly may. Take a transmission, and you will be radio 10. Over.
Thank you much, Dennis. Yeah, I'd like to check in my Robin, T123B, my 11-tube, 23-channel transceiver. Doggone it, this one here has been modified a little bit, Dennis. Starting from channel 1 to about channel 10, it has about 10 extra channels in it. She runs clear up to 35, and I'm on a Lollipop D104.
Boy, that's got great audio. Yeah, that's a synthesized radio, and there was a way to go in there and work with a block of whatever it was, 4 channels or 5 channels on the multiplier crystals, and add some of those newfangled channels that showed up in 1976. The alternate would be, I guess, to get the T240D, but when you've got a 123B that is running along so well as yours, you probably wouldn't want to part with it. Plus, if you're really into green, right? If you're really into green, you've got to keep that 123B running. Audio is crystal clear, no overmodulation, no distortion, so it's top shelf for Radio 10. Over.
We appreciate that. Yeah, this little baby here's got, I think, don't quote me now, you may clarify me on that, I think we're about 11 tubes on this one. And all the features on it, the little modulation light is a blinking away, not very bright, but she's a blinking. And I think everything on this radio does work. But other than that, I just wanted to give it a quick check-in. It's been on the shelf here for about a month, and we wanted to kind of blow the dust out and actually warm the room up. Doggone it, with these little rascals plugged in, it's keeping the room temperature real nice.
That's the bonus, I guess, in these winter months. In the autumn, it's like, I guess the more the merrier, but even its 11 tubes provide a little bit of heat to warm up the room, from its 6 BL6s and the RF amps to its 12AX7 and the modulator preamp, all the way to the RF Power Amp 6 BQ5. Doing a good job, double duty. Sounding good on the Old Tube Radio Network for Radio 10 and keeping things warm and toasty over there.
Thank you much, Dennis. Doggone it. We'll let it rock there. Let the old channel go. I think I got one more here that definitely we got to check in. I think she's ready and warm and maybe already cooked the dust off of it. Okay, Dennis. We'll be standing by.
All right, and thanks for bringing by Radio 10. I'm going to check something here. Looks like the camera re-white balanced or did something weird. But I don't think that's a problem. So what I'm going to do, bring up the brightness and we'll bring down the color. No, let's do, you know what? I could do this. Maybe we'll do that. This is the Old Tube Radio Network. In 1958, it wasn't really necessary that they might have had everything in color. We don't have the NBC Peacock. Well, let's do the rest of the show in monochrome, except for the radios. Now that looks interesting. OTR standing by.
Another robin.
Number 7.
All right, let me see. I've got Joe in at 10. We said another robin, so I think we've got another robin. That's 00. We'll get you in as 11. And then I heard Mr. Ed, he'll be number 12 on something. So if you're playing the home game, you should be on number 11. And we're heading over to 00. Over.
Can I be lucky number 13?
And you can be lucky number 13. In fact, we've got someone heard your crossband and made a comment that we'll talk about. And I want to talk about your ingenuity in grabbing a special call. So you'll be Radio 13. You got a couple of minutes to get back to the radio. Thanks, Harvey. All right, over to Mikey.
You know, I think there's something appropriate about SWL 20 being lucky number 13. That opens itself up to a lot of comments, but maybe I won't go there right now. So I heard someone, I believe that the radio prior to this, I think it was a robin. You're going to have to correct me. I was wrong, incidentally. OTR, you did not come in second place to the Peanuts Thanksgiving special. I did have to step out to finish some college applications. And no, unfortunately, it was not for me. It was for someone else. But I came back in and I heard what I thought was someone checking in a robin. And I have a really sinking feeling I'm really wrong on this, but I thought it was a 123B. As in Bravo, so I thought I'd turn this on and check it in. It's also a 123B. I seriously doubt it sounds as good as the other one, if indeed that was a 123B. But it's mine, and it's warm. It's really warm, and it's fun to use. It's got lots of sparkly lights on it.
It is fun to use. That goes without saying when you're on any type of an old tube radio. And why I think for the last 35 years there has been enough check-ins to keep the net running. Because it's just fun to do. Radio 11. Having a little more fun with the Robin T123B. You heard correctly. And in fact, Radio 10 was the T123B. Radio 11 is also the T123B, but it's yours. Audio is sounding good. Joe has really got that. I remember when it first came on, and he's been working on it and doing a few things here and there, and it is... I wish I had the replay of when he first pulled that on. It sounded good, but it sounds really good now, and yours is up in that class. So it's probably, because of the chassis, it's probably hard to make them sound bad, but it's good to make them sound even better.
You know, and I have to ask, and again, I think I might be wrong on this. Did I hear something about the previous Robin, a D104 being used on that? And I'm assuming that was an amplified D104. I don't have that for this particular radio. I did on my other Robin that I acquired, which of course was my first vacuum tube radio. It just had an unamplified generic something. I can't remember what it was. Maybe SWL 20 can help me remember that. But I remember once I got the amplified D104 on that, it really seemed to make quite a bit of improvement. And that's definitely not the situation I'm in with this one. I'm actually kind of looking forward to hearing the back-to-back, the other radio versus this one, and perhaps even more so just that amplified mic. I gotta, maybe once again, maybe something may have just gotten added to my Christmas list, a D104 that's wired up for 123B, if it makes that much of a difference.
It could. You have nice mellow audio now with what you're running. The D104 typically, as you get a crystal element that's really high-pitched, will add a little bit of brightness into the audio, which would work well with that Robin T123B because it's got full fidelity. I think you've got the range expand on, so you've got plenty of gain. The radio could probably run, of 10 or 20% more in the modulation department if you wanted, but not necessary for me hearing you okay. So it could be something to experiment with, and I don't know how difficult it is to wire one into the microphonium there. Probably not all that hard. I'm not sure what kind of plug it has. Sometimes the plugs get semi-unobtainium on some of the weird ones, but I'm going to say that was, with that chassis, that's a very standard microphone. So no problem there. And the frequency is good, so I don't know. I'm going to say you are headed in the proper direction for that Robin to be making appearances for years to come.
Okay, good. Well, I'm going to assume that you can't just move one mic from one Robin to another Robin. In other words, I'm going to assume they're not wired the exact same way, 123 versus a 123B. So I'm not going to just be crazy and try and move this microphone that I'm on right now. I've decided really quick, and again, I know we've got several others waiting in the wings here. I'll make this very, very, very short. I am going to sneak my 123 in right now with the Magic Eye tube, which is just working great. And this one does have the amplified D104. I'm not going to attempt to screw this into the other radio, although I think it kind of looks like you could do it. I found out the hard way that the power plugs for both of these Robin radios, don't interchange them. Trust me. Learn from someone else's mistake. Don't try and use a power cord from one radio in the other one. Just don't do it. But no, this one does have the amplified D104. I don't know. I don't know if I have. I do have a Sam's PhotoFact for this one, the 123. I don't think I have one for the Bravo. So I don't know if someone off the top of their head can make a comment on if the mics are wired the same way, but maybe that's something for me to investigate this coming week. Anyways, thanks for letting me check it in, and on that, I think I'm going to enthusiastically back out of here and listen to at least, I think, 2-3 more radios, perhaps.
Will do. We got you. You'll be Radio 14 with the Robin T123, which we're showing now, and that I got to put you in the order of appearance. So you go from Radio 11 to 14, but both of them there definitely got louder, more modulation. But with the preamp or with the preamplified microphone, I bet if you had, let's see, what if you had one of these, let me jump into the REA meter, you would probably see that your negative peaks, your positive peaks are probably doing well, but I bet your negative peaks are pushing in the 100 mode. Maybe a little bit of flat topping. So, you've got that radio will do a little bit more audio, and when you have an amplified microphone, you may end up having to turn it down just a bit. Doesn't sound bad, but it is not as mellow as the 123B. So, Radio 11, thanks for the T123 Bravo from Robin, and also the T123, which is the one right there on the video. And if you're watching the video, we've gone into the classic 1960s video mode, which is probably the way I should do this. But the radios will keep in glorious color. Thanks, Mike, for your check-ins. And when Harvey comes on, who is going to be in the couple radios here, we'll see if he knows if the microphoniums are interchangeable. There's probably less serious consequences that happen on an older radio, some of them that don't have the B+ all over the place, for switching the microphones incorrectly than switching power supplies incorrectly, because that could mess up transformers, and that's a bad thing. So let's see. Any comments, and then we'll head over to number 7. Okay, nothing there. So that's good. Radio 12 is Mr. Ed. Hello, Radio.
There we go. Yes, this time the Browning Golden Eagle R68 T68. And a bit of information on the Robin. I have the 123 and the 123B, and no, the microphones are not wired the same.
All right, so even if the plug looks the same, the wiring is not the same. And I think they are not the same chassis. You know, the 123B is the Panasonic, and the 123 is not. So, all right, good to know, and question answered. Back to you. And you... Oops.
Oh, I got a bad wire in the microphone. Didn't want to key up there. It's I have the little hand mic that attaches to the 123B, and I put it on the 123, and as soon as I put it in there, it keyed the radio, and so without pressing the microphone button, of course. But anyway, this one has the banana mic attached.
Classic stuff. All right, let me get the picture. Let me see if I go to which one should I want. I think it's that one. This is there is the radio, the Golden Eagle by Browning, the original Golden Eagle, not Mark Nothing. It comes with the Browning or the banana style microphone. Kind of a neat invention where they gave you a stand to put the microphone in, but the stand was not part of the microphonium per se, in that you could pull the element out, leave the stand there, and hold the thing close together, close to your speaking orifice, and not have to do something with the stand. And the way people liked to orchestrate their Eagles, maybe someone came out with that on purpose, right? Saying, maybe if we make it so you can swing the microphone around, and if you hit something, you won't. If you hit somebody, you won't kill them.
Oh, there you go. Swinging the old microphone around the speaker, making a little bit different sound.
And there's that bad wire again.
Man, that wire being a pain in the butt, huh?
Well, at least it just cuts out, but when it does it also cut the transmit?
It just stops.
Okay, well, sometimes then you know that something has happened. It's when it cuts out the audio, but it keeps the keying circuit in, and you think you're on the air. Although with that, you've only got, 2 wires in the ground, so if you lose one, you'll need to probably get a big buzz, or like in that case, you get nothing.
Yeah, it's basically nothing at all.
Okay, well, we've got something. We've got Radio 12, the Browning R68 T68, the Golden Eagle. Sounding good. Uh-oh. And I wanted to say hello to Richard, SWL78, is checking in on frequency as well. I want to get in there before he jumps out and say thanks, Ed, for Radio 12.
Thank you for letting me check in. Yeah, I'll have to rewire it and remember not to do it while the radio's on while I'm playing with the plug. Okay, with that, we'll let you get back to it.
All right, thanks. And let's see, we're going to Harvey. Radio 13 is next, so Harvey, step up in the air chair. I wanted to say hello to, let's see, Java Man. Thanks for your input. And Chrissy, I will go back and look. A lot of things scroll off or scroll by me as I'm doing the stuff here, and there's a recipe. I am not. I have no special diet, but I'm just kind of. I'm one of those finicky, picky eaters. So if it's really exotic and has, everybody says if it has a lot of taste, Dennis won't like it. So I don't know. I'll look at it. We'll see. I made some chocolate chip cookies. You know, there's only like 3 or 4 ingredients there. We'll see what happens. I'm wanting to see what you guys were talking about on the recipes. Let me clear the rigs and see if SWL20 is out there. Hello, Harvey.
I am here. And number 20. And I'm on. Excuse me. Trying to eat and talk on the radio at the same time, not good. My R68 T68 by Browning, this is the original one that you're used to hearing. This is the not Mod B. This is the, I guess, regular one that doesn't say anything, with the on-air light and the 3-position RF gain switch.
And it sounds a lot like the other ones. The Brownings, it's hard to make a Browning sound not like a Browning. Although the banana mic as opposed to the D104, I don't know if I've ever heard anybody running a Shure 444 on a Browning. Seems like that would tone down the high frequencies a bit, but maybe there's impedance mismatches or something. It's interesting, but the classic Browning audio is what you've got. Over.
Okay. What is that Shure mic that's amplified and it's got a meter in there? It's got a compression control and a regular audio gain control in it. You know what model that is?
No, I don't. That's some newfangled thing, so I will keep an ear and eye out if someone mentions, oh, I know what that is, and says what that is. But probably one of the newer, side talks or kickbacks or, something with a fancy name like that.
I've got to find them. I've got 2 of them. I had to mess with one, and I'm not sure if it still works. But the other one I put on, and you said, oh, and I wired it for this. I put it on the air, and you didn't like it at all. So I haven't put it back on. Correct about the Robin. 2 different wiring patterns for the mic. What was your answer on the difference between the 11A and the 12 on the General? I was getting out of the car and didn't hear.
Oh, there, at least on the card, it said that they changed maybe the output tube or the finals, and that's probably prompted the lack of FCC compliance and acceptance. I'm thinking from DC to AC input. See, we answered the question on the T123, 123B microphonium item. There may have been something else on the MC12, but I think it was mainly an output issue. And then when we did the crossband check-in, I had the crossband wired in, and I forgot I had the audio up, and you came through loud and clear. We got you checked in, and one of the SWLs commented when they heard your call, and they go, somebody's got OTR. It's like, what? How did that happen? And I wanted to give credit to you for being, back in the day. I don't even remember what your original call was, which you were a K something, one of the letters, like a KG or J or whatever. But you had the wherewithal to go into the vanities and say, hey, look at that, and grab it.
Hey, Roger. Yeah, I had originally wanted some obscure ham call that had been from the 30s or 40s. Some prominent ham ended up getting the call letters put on the dial of a Zenith AM shortwave radio. And that was WB6UTO. That was on a Zenith, because I had that Zenith, and I was listening to shortwave, and there it was. So way back then I looked it up, and it was some ham. But I figured he had passed by then, by when I was getting my call, but I couldn't find it. But then I thought about OTR, and I went in there, and one or two of them were taken somewhere back east, but Whiskey 6, Oscar Tango Romeo, was not, so I grabbed it. My original was KJ6NLB, and Bill's original was KJ6NLA, and another person in Fresno was NLC. So that didn't last too long. Bill ended up getting W6 or K6 WGJ for his initials.
I remember that. And here I am. I've still got my novice call. I never upgraded. Well, first I didn't even know, and back then the vanity thing was. Then they said, you've got $20 or whatever it is. Find a call and have at it. So, and then you get stuck. It's like your name. It's like changing your name. So if you keep your call for 30 years and then all of a sudden you change it, it just throws everybody off. So it's best to do what you did and do it early on, because I don't even remember. I don't even remember that you were a KJ. But I do remember the OTR. If you're watching the video, featuring some pictures there, that's David Lee, who has a lot of tube radios, and that's off. That's from the Facebook site, and that's his Yellowbirds out there, the old Tube CB Radio Network Facebook site. His Robbins, and it looks like a Johnson in there as well. So I wanted to add some color to the photo. Well, anyway, you caught somebody's ear when you checked in earlier with the OTR, and we're glad you got that call here locally.
I just wondered why no one else had thought about getting one. There's several variations. I think there are one or two. Whoops, I'm feeding back. That still could be had. I just wanted Whiskey 6. Anyway, on the general radio telephone, I'm not sure if they did change the final. I don't think they did. I think it's still a 6GE5, but I think they changed the transmit oscillator tube or something else in that part of the radio. But they did change the modulator tube from a ECLL 800. I've got another radio on, so I'm feeding back into it. From an ECLL 800 to twin 6BQ5. So The fact that it still sounds nice, loud, and proud is because they're using 2 tubes. Anyway, I've got one more I'm going to check in, and I don't have my switch box yet, so I have to unplug cable.
All right, we'll do that. We've got Radio 15 open at the moment. I'm going to head over. It's almost that time. I'm just looking at the clock, but I'm going to head over to the Jingle Singers. So go switch the coax. We'll remind everybody they're listening to whether it's on 27085 in the RF Zone Direct or at oldtuberadio.net or on the YouTube video, something called the Old Tube Radio Network, where we take a couple of hours every Saturday evening here in Central California and throw the frequency back to the days of tube radios. Not only the sound of the radios, but the demeanor of the transmissions, and try and have a good time. And indeed, our Jingle Singers will remind us of that, I hope, if they're still wired up. Here we go.
You're tuned to
OTR. Channel 11,
right here in
Fresno, California.
Stay with us.
Old Tube Radio.
And be modern.
Are we counting and amounting the radios and maybe looking for one or two more before we sign out? The Old Tube Radio Network listening.
Break OTR.
And we're listening, and it's like a good day fishing. We just caught another one. Go ahead, Break OTR.
Okay. How well do you hear this one, Dennis?
You are S8. I would say, what's the classic old tube radio from way back? 9 pounds, good modulation, Chestnut and Herndon. Well, you're not quite there, but I hear you 100% over.
Okay. This is the Browning Mobile Air, or it's supposed to be. I'm not sure if it is. Do I need to turn the mic up?
I think you're okay. Let's put that in your list of things we're going to try, because the audio is good, but that doesn't mean if from your 1962 Mobile Air that it couldn't add a little bit more over.
Okay. I turned it up a little bit. Okay. Anyway, this is the Browning Mobile Air. At least I think it is. The Browning Mobile Air was made by Vocaline and is the ED27D. They made two ED27. The 27, which is one channel, and the D, which is 4. And the Mobile Air is the 4-channel one. Anyway, the front of this has been redone, so I'm not absolutely sure it's the Mobile Air. I got this from Bill, and the person Bill got it from said it was a Mobile Air. So, you know, there you go. I also have a Vocaline, that ED27D, that I'll try and get on the air within the next lifetime, and we'll see how they compare. Anyway, amplified D104, and that's it.
Sounds good. Didn't make too much difference. I mean, it didn't hurt anything by pulling up the audio. I think I just finally found an archive shot here of the Mobile Air. So let me go to that. It does have that Vocaline look. It got a nice big speaker in it, so I might even sound good. It does say it's Mobile Air by Browning. I see the channel selector, squelch, volume, pretty, and an antenna light. Pretty plain. Was this something they thought, well, we need to have a mobile radio, so we'll have someone make it for us and change the front panel so it looks like a Browning? Over.
Yeah. In fact, they left the 4-pin Amphenol plug on it. It does have one nifty thing. There's a switch in the back and I'm going to turn it, I'm going to flip it, and you might lose me or some of my signal. Here it goes. Okay. Did I drop down at all?
You mean audio-wise? No, it sounds about the same.
What about signal?
All right, you may have to do that again so I can watch the S-meter and we'll put it up on the screen. Are you able to do that again? Over.
Okay, that's the switch on. And that's the switch off.
I see no difference in the resting carrier. It's still the same.
Okay, here's a half a watt. What it is, it's how you tune your radio. You flip the switch and a light bulb goes on where it says antenna. And you tune your antenna load, grid and load to, or load and tune, whatever, to the brightness of the bulb. That's what you're supposed to do. They had the wrong bulb in. And when you flipped it on, the bulb grew so much, it went from about 4 watts down to about a watt with the bulb on. The proper bulb, which is the number 263, it goes from about 4 to 3.5. But that's what that is. That antenna light is for tuning. And then below the speaker is just the power on neon light.
We grab the picture again. Okay, well, it's, I think you probably had it very close to where it needs to be, because I didn't see any change. It didn't seem like the audio changed. I'm looking at those, and your radio could be very well different. There's these big, almost like thumb-style screws in the front of the radio, like you could pull those out and the whole thing would come out of the case, because I see some screws in the face, probably holding off some other items of interest, and I see the, I don't know if that's, like you said, a light underneath the speaker, but I see the antenna light. So I think you're tuned, but for something that was supposed to be not real technical, I'm always amazed that some of the very early radios had a lot of controls to actually tune and be engineering-esque to the radio. So that's nice. They would actually let you do that.
That's what they did. Okay, the upper left, right, and the bottom right and left screws, they hold it in the case. Right now it's out of the case, in case I had to do some tuning to tune in better. But no, it's fine. The two middle screws, center left, center right, help hold the face of the radio to the chassis. That's what they're for. Anyway, along with, that's what it's for. The volume and the swell and the mic plugs don't go into the chassis. So, that's how they made this thing. Anyway, I'm just glad you can hear me. Had to do a little work on it. I hope I didn't. But it's a small radio, and I just had enough room on the non-workbench to do it, so I did it. I've got other stuff I need to work on, for other people, so I got to get to that. But I did this because it's a Browning, and I wanted to get it on the air.
And you did. As I said, it's not the signal at S8 is well over my noise. I don't have a lot of static tonight, so it is running well, not a problem. The audio sounds fine. If you get a chance to listen to the archives, I think you will be pleased with it. And that type of radio, of course, you can, experiment with microphoniums and probably tailor your audio a little bit more high frequency or low frequency. And Java Man, thank you. I always forget. That's why I love our SWLs. They are right on the spot. That the banana mic was made by Electro Voice. I always think it was Shure or Static, but it is by Electro Voice. So you're good. The Mobile Air Would you think it is a Mobile Air? Although we know it's the vocal line per se is doing a good job. So don't fret. Over.
Get up. And by the way, it's got a 5763 final, a 12BY7 transmit oscillator driver, and a 6BQ5 modulator, and in parentheses in the vocal line schematic, it says you could put a 7189 in. So it's very similar to the transmit section of the Browning, although the mic amplifier tube turns out to be a 6AD6, which is a very good tube anyway. Okay, I'll turn it back to you. I'll be done.
Art, thanks. Thanks for bringing it by. Looks like it's tall enough maybe to play with the tubes, put something beefier in there, but I think you'll be pleased if you hear the station, the audio, with what it's doing. And as we saw, sometimes you put a preamplified microphone on the radio, and the radio is, and I noticed that with my with the Helicopter CB3A, I stick it on the RAA meter, and it's like you're loud, but you run a tone through it at 95% audio, it starts going wacko. So that's as much as you can get out of it without distortion. So sometimes the stock microphone is better for that than amplifying it and pushing it to 110% modulation, but there's some wacky distortion. The Old Tube Radio Network, Real Radio's glowing in the dark, counting and amounting. There's time for one more radio for you if you got one, and we'll be signing off here soon. Maybe I can figure out where the color went in the studio tonight. OTR standing by.
Break 1-1.
And the break 1-1, go ahead, over.
Hi, Dennis. Can I get a late check-in?
You can get a late chicken. If you had an early turkey, you can get a late chicken, over.
I'll take whatever I can get, man.
All right, well, I'm looking for page 3, SWL70, and there it is. You are checked in, over.
Awesome. I am something. I don't know. I'm whole again. Thanks.
Yeah, I had to add one more. I've already, let me tell you, I've already counted the page. So I did add one more check-in on page 3. And thanks for stopping by.
Thanks, Dennis. Have a good evening.
I think that might have been a check-in, but it was very, more static than voice.
Dennis, you got a copy on this one?
I hear you now, over.
Okay, it must have pulled the cord too far back. Well, we'll make this real quick. We'd like to check in our 10-tube, 3.5 watt Johnson Messenger, and doggone it, with pretty lights in the front. It's got a nice square assembly, nice big meter, nice dial, and a big, almost a 4x4 speaker.
Nice stuff. You know, E.F. Johnson was going to be right there with a 5 in and 3.5 out. They were no, speaking about chickens, they were no spring chickens when it came to making a transmitter and a receiver. They had been doing business band and commercial radios for a long time, jumped into the 11-meter Class D stuff right when it started with the Messenger 1. They went to the Messenger 2, added a few more features and some more channels, and then they made the 223, where they said, what the heck? Why can't we be like Johnson and Tram, or Browning and Tram and Sonar? We'll give you everything. We'll give you the S meter, we'll give you 23 channels, and we'll put it in a great case. And we'll build it like a brick. And you just never know. It might get on the internet worldwide on November 28th, 2020. So you fulfilled their futuristic prophecy there.
I imagine so. I really appreciate this one. Like I say, it has a great big, almost a 4x4 speaker in the front there, and it's lit up nice. You can't go wrong with it. And the only little oddball situation about it is the squelch turns it on, and then you've got your volume control. And to turn it back off, you go through the squelch system. But other than that, you can't beat it. Durable and reliable.
Yeah, and that's the same thing even on the Messenger and the Messenger 2, the same way. And they didn't change that. I don't know if anybody ever complained about that, and I think it was something they said, no, we're not going to redesign the whole thing. We've got a good transmitter, we've improved the receiver, and we'll just put it in a nice case. And if somebody knows the Johnson way to do things, they will know how to not make the mistake that we all do, that I did when I had my Messenger for the first time, thinking the radio is not working, and then you turn the knob and you've got the volume turned all the way up, right? Or the squelch is down, and you get lots of audio. Radio 15 online with us now. The Messenger 223, the top of the line from E.F. Johnson back in 1969 to 1972. They had a whole bunch of other radios at this time, solid state and mobile radios, and they were into the 11-meter thing pretty good. But this is their classic radio. If you can find one of these, and usually you can because they sold a lot of them, you will not go wrong. Back to you.
We thank you much, and I'm very happy with it. It's a keeper. I had one before, and I let it get away from me. Not this one. This one's staying right where she's at. And I've got another one that's similar to it. I think it's a 124A or something like that. It's on the top shelf. That has features on it. A real unusual radio. I'd like to get her going, but it's not tube type. It's solid state. Okay, Dennis, thanks a whole bunch.
And I will say thank you for Radio 15 and the Old Tube Radio Network. We are counting and amounting.
One more?
Oh, man, that sounds powerful. This is the one more radio frequency. Go ahead.
What happened, Dennis?
No, I said that sounds very powerful. It has the relay snap. It has that gunshot relay snap, and it has that sound. I didn't look at the S meter to know what the power is, but it just has that sound. Go ahead.
Well, let me tell you something, Dennis. It's got a problem, and I'm listening to it right now. Hello. Yeah, I can hear myself in the speaker, so either it's a microphone problem, and I can plug in another mic, or it's the relay in the radio. This is the Tram XL100.
Wow, all right. Well, maybe it's just, sometimes you hear the tube talking back to you. When you've got that much audio, and you're at S8, which is where you were on, what was the last radio that you had? The R68, T60, but you've got good forward modulation. And you say this is an XL100?
Yeah, Roger. I'm on the hand mic that came with the radio. It may not snap as much, it may, I don't know. But when you unkey this thing with the mic I had on it makes a hellacious sound.
And now, when you key the mic, it transmits a hellacious sound. It sounds like you took the other microphone and you dumped your beverage out of the paper cup that you were using, and you hold the paper cup up to the microphone.
Yeah, distortion, huh?
No, not distortion so much as you've lost the highs, you lost the lows, and you lost as Mr. Heil would say, the intelligibility. But I still hear you 100%. Over.
Okay, plug the other mic back in. Okay, I have to go through the tubes on this and the relay and all that. These radios have been in storage for I don't know how long, so. Anyway, this is a Tram XL100. It's Tram's answer to, or Browning had the answer to this. The Browning the Browning Drake 523, which was around a 3 or so piece radio. You had the transceiver, a separate speaker, and a separate power supply. That's what you have with the Browning Drake 523. But in this one, you have to beware if you see just the XL100 transceiver, like on eBay. You could plug in any speaker, pretty much, but if you don't have the power supply with it, you're out of luck. Why? With the separate power supply, they put the output modulator tube in with the power supply. So unless you have the power supply, the radio's no good.
Funny how they do that. Just listening to your audio, tell me the microphone you're using, and I just think you're overdriving the radio a little bit with that microphone, and that's probably the tube or something chattering back to you. So what microphone are you using now? It sounds good, though, that this is the microphone you want, but I think it just got too much drive.
Okay, I'll back off. It's an amplified D104. It's a UG9 stand, but I've got the amp. There's a battery in it, but I have it turned all the way down. If I turn it up, you feed back. Now, I haven't opened up the radio, so I don't know if there's a gain control in it. I think I do have a schematic on it, so I'll have to check. But I might just start running an unamped D104 with this thing, or maybe some other mic that I can turn down. But if I even crack this one open, it feeds back.
All right, that's why I'm hearing it. It's just overdriving the radio ever so much, but the radio, of course, is handling it pretty good. It's not flat topping, like the CB3A does when you're losing the speech part of it. And it actually sounds good. I said it's the sound that a lot of the guys like to get. You have that snap when you key up, and then it's got the good low frequency and the good high frequency. So the straight D104 might be a way to go, might be a way to check it, but I don't think you want one that has the crystal element where it sounds tinny. Or if you've got a way, like you said, to go inside the radio and bring your mic gain down a little bit, then you'd be okay. So that's just slightly overdriving the radio, and I think you're just hearing the tube chatter. One of the SWLs says that thing sounds great, and I agree, it does.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. Backing off the mic. Oh, yeah. I'm looking at the needle, or the meter. Okay, I could probably go with an unamped D104. Plus, I have to check the tubes because I think I have a weak receive tube because the receive kind of fades in after I'm keyed up. And I think that's a weak receive tube. So I have to check it. The thing's been in a box for about 5 years. Anyway, I had Bill powder coat the case, the speaker, the external power supply, so it looks great. I actually have the mobile bracket with this thing that it's in it right now, and it's got a tilt bail thing, a little tilt deal, the mobile bracket, it's got everything that came with this thing. In fact, that hand mic is the exact hand mic that came with it, but it's probably got a weird bad element. I'll have to open it up to see about replacing it. But anyway, I'll try some other mic with this next week.
Yeah, it sounds like it's a good full fidelity audio, so changing mics sometimes is a good way. Whatever the quality of the microphone is will be transmitted through the radio. The picture we're showing courtesy of Larry Lavasseur. I'm going to go to the close-up, and it's wired with the D104 in a very 21st century molded plastic automobile with a classic, mid-century modern style radio. It should be on a metal dash. what I like about it, it reminds me of amateur radio gear. The mobile radios like an Atlas or a Swan or something like that. Just the layout of the way the dial is and the big black meter. It's a cool looking radio. It looks more like an amateur, a 60s amateur radio than other. And I don't have a super close up on this, and I'll ask you one question. There is, because this is a cool radio, there's something on the left side. It almost looks like the kind when they had a key, like a lock or something. I don't know what that is. Up on the upper left below or next to the knob. And then there's something, and it looks like a switch, and that's below the S meter and above the mic jack. So if you have 25 words or less to give us a bird's eye view on what that is, over.
Upper right is the key switch, power on, power off. The volume control has an on-off also, but the key is a master switch. Above the mic plug is the limiter switch, and I happen to have that on. And yes, I do have the key for it.
All right. So I don't know if you need to turn it on or off with that, or it locks it on channel 11, which wouldn't be a bad thing. Mitch notes, and you might know this, Harvey, that the battery in the base of the TUG-89 stand, if it gets really weak, then sometimes the gain control does wacky things. So if you've checked your battery, you're probably okay on the amplified D104. If not, you might be able to work a little bit more gain or ungain, as the case may be, on the microphonium. So I'm glad you found the key to start that thing up.
Hey, Roger. Well, actually, I'm not sure if this one came with the key or the Town & Country TC3, Town & Country 3, also has a key. They're both the same. And I had one key, and I had to go in between the radios. I went everywhere trying to duplicate that key, and finally I had to go to Havens Locks, Havens Locksmith down there on Abbey, and they identified it as, you'll love this, an old fire alarm box key that you would have in a store. You'd have this little box there, and that would turn the fire alarm or the sprinkler system on, so it was ready to go, something like that. That's what it was. And they were able to get me a couple of them. So they didn't even have to cut them. I mean, this is the way they came. So I have about 3 of these keys now.
Save them, because you never know when another XL100 might come up. In fact, I've got a lock down at Havens right now. They've been around for a long time. They're great for Collins radio. I'm trying to work on, and we didn't have the key, and then someone had a key and it worked, but then the lock was messed up, so we took the whole thing out. And maybe we'll get a key made up and the lock will be working. We're talking with Radio 16. It's a good night for rare radios, from the Browning Raven to this one right here, the Tram XL100, sounding most excellent. I hope that will be a fixture in the new Radio Shack, because I think it's going to be a fan favorite when you get the perfect microphonium for that.
Well, it's got its spot, and I think that's where it's going to stay. I've decided that I don't have enough room in this room for the radios to have them all hooked up with cable, etc. So what I'm going to do is on this bench will be the radios that are hooked up all the time, and this is one of them. It's in the upper left-hand corner. One of these days I'll get this all done and take a picture of it. But anyway, I like it, and I like the mic that I'm running with it, but I'm going to try a couple others and see what I can do. And yes, you're correct. It does look like Atlas-type radios in the front. The channel 11, or whatever channel you're on, lights up in the center of the dial in white, but the number to the right, which is 10, or number to the left, which is 12, light up in green.
Green is not a bad thing on the Old Tube Radio Network, and I've got the extreme close-up for a shot that is not extreme close-up. I can see that. I can see the yellow or the white light, and then the side-to-side in green. So pretty cool. Cool-looking radio all around, and boy, does it. And when you first keyed up, I knew it had that sound, especially with the snap on the relay. And who was it? It was 56 would key up, and we used to call his radio the Snapper, and I think it was the Tram Titan or Titan 2. So my guess is that radio is probably same chassis like a Titan or a Titan 2, and they had that nice relay key up. All right, it is getting late, but I know a lot of people are staying up with us tonight, and I appreciate that. We got some great radios, so we'll go back to you for transmission, and then we'll do counting and amounting, and as they say, returning the frequency to normal, whatever that is. And I've probably got a day's worth of trying to figure out why my audio board isn't working.
Hey, Dennis, can I get a radio check?
I don't know. I just kind of like this thing. I don't know why.
And stand by, radio check. We'll get to you.
But, okay. Anyway, I appreciate you. Whoa, look at the time. Okay, the Tram XL100, amplified D104. It's a silver and black radio. Looks really nice. I'm happy with it. Okay, you take care, and we'll catch you next week.
All right, thanks for bringing by Radio 16. And I put the big S-meter display up on what people call the video gate that we're doing here for OTR. And the station that would like a radio check, try it again. The entire universe is waiting for your radio check, and we got the S-meter ready to go.
Can I also get a late check-in, please, Dennis, for 55? It took me longer to put up the new antenna.
Isn't that how it is? Isn't that how it goes? It always seems to take longer. But I hope it was a good wait because, one, it sounds great. You are almost S9 on the meter. And because we're having so much fun on OTR tonight, I was actually out here with the radio list, once I find page 3, and I can change your proxy check-in to a real check-in over.
Thank you, Dennis.
All right, good job on the antenna, and it's good to see you getting back on the air, getting things ready to go. It's doing a good job. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, counting and mounting, the Old Tube Radio Network will be standing by. Must be getting late. Everything's starting to fail, including me. Where is Mr. Here we go. Let's do the counting and amounting on the Old Tube Radio Network.
You're tuned to
OTR. Channel 11.
Right here in
Fresno, California.
Stay with us.
Old Tube Radio.
All right, don't go away. Everybody in Studio B, don't go away. We've already done that. What I really need is your sign-off. So, yeah, reconfigure. Put Mr. Announcer on the RCA 44 microphonium. Bring the, yes, thank you. Yes, bring the orchestra up, and this is what we're looking for right here.
Ladies and gentlemen, time now for the current OTR totals.
All right, the current and final totals. I always forget. We used to have, how do you talk over that? We used to have a 3-hour program back early, And each top of the hour, or when the SWLs would gang up on us and yell totals, then we'd have to go over to the other studio and play that. So that's why it says the current total. But now, we just wait until the end, and we give you the current total, which is actually the final totals here. So I am looking at all the stuff here. I guess this is still working. I had to go, and it's really weird. I had to go to a B side, and I just hooked this up today. I said I need a B audio thing set up just in case, and then I got it just in case. I'm saying I'm actually peaking. I'm actually putting in too much audio into the input, and I can't turn it down. So my apologies. I will talk. I won't shout. My apologies if the audio was less than stellar tonight, but it's just, let me try it. I'm going to go back to the other one just because I can and see if it's messed up still. It's not even working, so I don't know what happened. I have no idea. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I put the wrong one. Let's try that one. Is that it? Yeah. Okay, there's the other one. Hello, radio test. See, it's got a problem or something. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. So let's go back to where I was doing. I think it's at control. And it's got some weird noise on it too. So anyway, enough about that. Let's talk radios here. Counting and amounting the SWLs tonight. Where did I write that? Here it is. We had a total of 67. 16 on page 1, 17 on page 2, 16 on page 3 with the addition of M&M, and 18 on page 4 for a total of 67 check-ins tonight. And if you were playing the home game, you didn't quite run out of space on page 1, but we made it to 16 radios. The most heard manufacturer, you are wondering, could it be? Well, it was the Robins until all those Brownings checked in. So we had 5 Brownings total, 4 Robins, and a whole slew of others. Here we go. The Cobra Cam 88 with the RE320 microphonium to start things off, with Dennis showing you that if you do it right, you can get that broadcast quality without a lot of effort in your tube radio. Mr. Ed on the Robin T123. But one of the 4 Robins tonight, they were definitely wanting to be the most heard manufacturer. Radio number 3, Paul on the Browning Raven, starting off who's got one of those things tonight? We've got one here in the Central Valley. The General Radio Telephone Super MC11A from Chris was Radio 4. Radio 5, the Tram TR27E from Mr. Ed. The Chris 23 Plus was Radio 6 from Chris. Radio 7 was SWL7 of the Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB, followed by Jerry on his Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB. Paul was on the General Radio Telephone Super MC12. There are not many of those. I hope someone tells, who is it, Ronald Barton, who loves the MC12, to skip to that spot. He might not be able to want the whole video, but skip to that spot on the video and listen to Super MC12 for Radio 9. Thanks, Paul. Radio 10, Joe. Good to have Joe back on the frequency. Sounding good tonight on the Robin T123B for Radio 10. Radio 11, Mike 00 on the Robin T123B. Radio 12 was Ed on the Browning R68 T68 equal combination, followed by Harvey on his Browning Golden Eagle R68 T68 combinations. The Brownings came in pairs tonight. The Mark IIIs and the Mark Nuns came in pairs. Radio 14, Mike was on the Robin T123. Radio 15, Joe on the EF Johnson Messenger 223. And as you just heard moments ago, the Tram XL100. Sounds like one of those, what was that marionette show? It wasn't XL1. What was it? It was a Fireball XL5. Did Tram ever make a Fireball? Was that it? The XL5? Something like that, the little marionette puppets. But anyway, that's 16 radios, and the amount of tubes, I wrote it down somewhere on a piece of paper that is probably underneath everything. Oh, here it is. It is underneath everything. 210. We made it to 210 tubes, plus or minus my errors, but still good. Not bad when you have 16 radios and a lot of them are Brownings. What can I say? Good night, everybody. I'm not going to even attempt to do any SWLing because the audio board is kind of weird, and I don't think everything's going to come through. But have a great rest of whatever it is that you're doing for this weekend, and hopefully doing it safely enough that we don't have any more problems with COVID counts and all of that. I will try and find the color camera next week, but it's pretty cool being in monochrome since this suit doesn't have much color in it anyway. And I'm losing the color in me. So I need to go check out that recipe. Maybe that's what I need. Thanks, Chrissy. I'll see what you got there, and thanks everybody. Let me refresh the comments when we're on that time. And X4000 saying, thanks for all the black and white goodness. Yeah, monochrome sometimes is good on the old tube radio network. Good night, everyone. And I see the Google bots. The Google bots from Mountain View, California are tuning in. They're wanting to know why that old tube radio network is staying on so late tonight. Good night, everybody.
Thanks, Dennis.
Good night, Dennis.
Good night, 73s, and thanks to Bozo Control.
Bozo Control, the proboscis is around. All right, let's do this let's do the situation on the saturation. Yeah. Something like that. John Boy is right. Now I got to figure out what I broke and try and fix it. Okay, let's take care of the glowing 6L6 here with a little bit of that. Good night, everybody. And over to the video. At least I can't break the video.